This 1971 Aaron snowblower has been torn down, degreased, and is ready for sanding. Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, and just so we're clear here, many of the major components of this snowblower have been sent off to be sandblasted. But these procedures would generally work across most other metal surfaces on your snowblower. And these were two components that the gentleman at the sandblasting shop declined to do, and I don't blame him. So we're gonna tackle these. It's gotta get ugly before it gets better, right? First up were the wheels. He specifically told me that the impact from the sand would ruin the outside edge of these tires. And these tires were a chore in themselves to get them on, and they're not coming off. So I'm just gonna sand these all down. And next up is the transmission housing. Now inside we'll find the gears, pulleys, the friction disc, and these older models have a lot of parts inside, which would make dismantling them a royal pain. And any sand that would make its way in either through here or through these holes on the top would ruin the gears inside over time. Don't want to risk it, so I'm going to sand this whole thing down too. Now one thing that does concern me is this little logo right here. I love this little Aaron's logo for some odd reason. And with the rough edge around the outside of this thing, I feel I really have to sand this down and clean it up. It just will not look good on a bright white wheel. Bright white wheel. So I'm not opposed to sanding this down. I could do a couple of things here. It is embossed here a bit. I could put a sticker on it to match, or I could hand paint it in, which I think would look pretty nice as well. We'll have to figure that out down the road. Now our first weapon of choice here is going to be our grinder with a wire brush attachment. This will get the job done quickly and easily knock out any heavy rust. I have a fine wire brush here because I don't need a heavy metal brush that's super aggressive because there's not a lot of heavy rust areas on this snowblower to begin with. If it was worse, I'd end up going with something thicker. Now I could end up going from a 400 to a 600 to an 800 to 1,000 grit sandpaper to sand this whole thing down, but that would take a while. In my experience, you get the same results a lot faster with an angle grinder and a wire brush. Now for really fine areas, I have my Dremel with a fine wire attachment here as well as a sandpaper attachment. And if I need to take it one step further, I have some attachments for my drill that are wire brushes, including this little cone shape, which will work great for getting around all these nuts and bolts down here. Now I got some big old metal clamps to clamp this whole unit down so it doesn't slide anywhere on the table. And in terms of protection here, I have gloves, a breathing mask, some goggles, and some hearing protection. There's going to be debris flying everywhere, and I want to play it safe. And to set this video up for success with YouTube algorithm, would you mind hitting that like button? Thank you. Now I'm going to be setting this up on my portable workbench here outside so that way I have plenty of fresh air and I don't have to bend down as much. Bending down is for the birds. Now while I'm doing all this grinding, the main focus is to get the entire surface smooth and rust free. Focus on any surface rust and getting into and around any crevices. When I was grinding the wheels, I was cautious of the tire stem. If you have plastic stems, these will get destroyed by the grinder. The plastic caps on mine came off in no time. And I was careful not to harm the tire with the wire wheel on the edge of the rim. I decided to take my Dremel to the fine outside edge of the rim, that way I didn't bang up the tire. And it did a fairly decent job. If there's any remaining paint on there, don't worry, it should be nice and sanded to some degree at this point. Don't overthink it. We're just going to paint over it. You can see the wheels look much smoother now. Now onto the transmission housing. First, I made sure that everything is packed up well with newspaper and cardboard. This prevents a lot of the debris from getting inside, and a majority of the holes here are packed, so we're good. If any does find its way in, I'll just do my best to get it all cleaned out. I'm going to make sure to hit around all the edges so that way we're not leaving any spot untouched. For tighter areas, I decided to use my drill with a wire wheel. And this worked well behind the wheel hubs. Again, any remaining paint on the finish is now smooth, so we can go ahead now and paint right over it. We're good to go. God, do I hate sanding. Make no mistake about it, this took a while, about a good 2 hours or so. And after I had finished sanding, I went ahead and took my leaf blower and some compressed air and blew out everything on all the surfaces that I previously sanded. It kind of looked like really fine orange cake sprinkles on everything. Once that was all off, I grabbed some paper towels and some isopropyl alcohol and wiped down all of the sanded surfaces. I kept doing this until there was no more residue coming off. From there, I went over all the surfaces again with a lint-free cloth and more isopropyl alcohol till the point where there was nothing coming off on the rag. Isopropyl alcohol is a good solvent and it's very volatile, so it dries quickly. So now the parts that I have are all sanded and clean, and if you're planning on doing this on your end, here's a few tips and tricks to help you out. Now I really prefer the wire brush method because by the time you spend all that money on all those different kinds of sandpaper, you end up spending about the same as you would on a cheap grinder and a wire brush. And I made this $10 Harbor Freight grinder do some work. And for the record, I would strongly recommend, if you can afford it, to have the rest of the major parts sandblasted, because that took way too long on just those few sections. I avoid sanding like the plague because it takes too long, it makes a huge mess, you gotta clean everything up, and with the amount of time it took just to do the 2 tires and that transmission housing, I am totally happy paying someone else to do all the rest. Now, another thing about this wire brush is that you just gotta let it sit there and do its job. I didn't really have to apply any hard pressure unless I was getting into like maybe a tight corner or something. Just give the wire brush some time to do its thing and you'll get some great results. Now, if your snowblower paint isn't in bad shape, doesn't have any rust or blemishes, then you probably could get away with just using some 600 grit sandpaper and attacking the paint that way. That would at least help the fresh coat of paint stick better and last longer. Also, keep in mind that the transmission housing and the wheels themselves don't see a lot of friction with the snow. Unlike the chute or maybe the auger housing that constantly has snow and ice just rambling through it, these just maybe have snow falling off of it. So it's a pretty rare circumstance when you get a lot of friction to rip any fresh paint off. So I anticipate the paint sticking to these surfaces and looking good for a long time. Looks like at this point, we're ready for some primer. And if you're looking to see how this whole process got started, check out the video links down below in the description. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.